Good evening, everyone. Good evening, friends and family. Good evening. Hello, Binke Akintola. Hello, how are you? Good evening. Good evening to everyone on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Bless you. And the way we are going to run it this night, like we're doing lately, I'll just treat everyone as a silent observer. But if you want to be acknowledged, please just say hello or wave your hand so I know you're there, or just drop a comment. Trust you all had a very beautiful day. Bless you. Karina put good evening, my beautiful woman of God. Good evening to you. It's good to see you this evening. We bless God for the grace to be here again today. We are not taking you for granted. Blessed be the name of the Most High. God bless you. My sister Shubio Gemma, good evening, ma. Good evening to you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Reverend Ronke Onokoya. Good evening, ma. God has been faithful. Please just say hello or wave your hand so I can acknowledge you. Otherwise, some people just want to watch anonymously and stay quiet. Quiet observers, you know. So drop your comments and then say hello, and then by the grace of God, I'll acknowledge you. Please, tonight we have a topic that we are going to deal with or talk on. Is dealing with your new marriage and step relationship. Dealing with new marriages or your new marriage, I'll make it applicable to you. So it's you, your marriage and step relationship. So that's our topic tonight. Please make it very interactive. Drop your comments, call in. The number is 074 280 72162. Please help me to write the number on the screen. It's there on the flyer, it's there on the program, on the topic for today. But please, it's 074. Let's ask questions. When you ask questions, there are a lot of people that experience online, men and women of God, social workers, doctors, professionals, teachers, mothers, fathers, people that have been through this situation that will be able to shed light. Don't suffer in silence, you know. A problem shared is half solved. One thing I found out lately is, you know, the scripture that says there's no temptation that befalls a man that somebody else has not gone through. That's not applicable to somebody else. But God will give us a grace and a way out. So there's nothing we are going through that somebody else had not gone through. So it's no big deal. We feel it's a big deal because we think it's applicable to us. We think it's me alone. It's all about me. This is strange. And that's why most of us we are lying under the weight of all these issues. But the moment we talk it out, we discuss it, it becomes half shared, it becomes half solved. At least you've seen some other people that have gone through it. So that's why we're talking about this topic tonight, which is marriage and step relationship. And in a minute now, I'm going to just quickly go on to our Instagram. Good evening, everyone. Bless you as I just quickly log on to my Instagram page and then join our Instagram family online. Tonight's topic. Tonight's topic, it's marriage and step relationship. That's the topic for tonight on The Wise Builder. It's your new marriage and step relationship. Whether we like it or not, some of us have been in this kind of marriages. It could be your first marriage and you married somebody that's been married before, or your second marriage, or your parents are remarrying. You know, maybe your mom dies or your dad dies and they're old age. Not necessarily. Nowadays, you see 70-something-year-old men remarrying. Loneliness is not nice. You know, most of us say, oh, why are they remarrying? But be in their shoes and you will know. Sometimes when you're in your comfort zone and everything is working, put yourself, empathize with other people that are going through it, or put yourself in their shoes. Then you know. So, but all the same, the topic tonight is your new marriage and step relationship. You see, studies shows that most people that goes into second marriages, if care is not taken, you always end up in divorce or a lot of issues. If you're out there, please, 074 280 That's the Wise Builder number for tonight. 074 280 You can call on WhatsApp. We've got it on WhatsApp. Just look for us on WhatsApp and then call us. Call our show. Good evening to you as well. Good evening. Bless you. Pastor Titus Abi, bless you. Acknowledge you, sir. So our marriage and step relationship. You see, forming a step relationship through marriage. Step relationship is the children of your spouse or your husband. I'll use spouse. So it could be a man or a woman. The children of your spouse, maybe you're a woman, you got married to somebody that's had children before. Those children, or the children's family, the parents of that child. That is the child's parents and grandparents. The child's. Let me give you an example. If I remarry now, and I marry a man that has children, that child does not fall from heaven if the mother is still alive. So whether I like it or not, I have to have a dealing or prepare to deal with the mother of that child or children. I have to deal with the grandparents of that child or children, and vice versa. So that's what we are talking about this night. Or if it's your parent, I see some of us that our parents wants to get, they want to remarry, and we are throwing tantrums because our mother is no longer there. Your father has divorced your mom, or your mother divorced your father. Your father still he has his life, or your mother still has her life. So because of that, we always have this, we are kind of sensitive towards this step relationship, but it's not their fault. And then issues start happening. Some of us has we formed our mind. We've kind of hardened our mind. We've got some structures in our mind and things, ideas in our mind that we are not ready to accept these people, or we go into that family and we start causing chaos and confusion, not because we really wanted to do, but some of us don't know how to relate. So forming a step family, I'll call it step family, which includes the children, the spouse, all of them. It's like you're going on a trip. It's like you're planning a trip. Most of us, we've gone on trips. Fortunately, this is summer now. Most of us are preparing to go on holiday, on trips. And we are planning. You look for the weather condition, you look and you Google what kind of people are there, what's the weather, what do I need to take along, is it warm clothing, is it what kind of markets, and blah, 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 adventures. And it's amazing how these things happen. Hello, good evening, everyone on Instagram. Bless you. Hello to you, Jums, text Tadra too. Thank you very much. We want to find out what adventure we are going to go into. Despite that, most of us nowadays, it's a journey. Second marriages or remarriages or whatever you call it, and step family, it's a journey where you are embarking. You see, it's good when it's your first marriage. Nobody plans for it. Nobody plans that their marriage will not work out, but things happen in life, or the death of a spouse or something like that. But one way or the other, you deal with step family in a marriage when you marry into somebody that's had a child before. So it's very necessary for us to plan. We all just fall in love with this guy or this lady, and we just think it's all about him. No. Before you meet him or her, there's somebody in his life that's very, very important, which is the child or the children. So let's assume the father has the father has gone or the mother has gone. It all depends. But you've got somebody in the middle that it's not that child's fault that the parents are divorcing. So how do we do these things without causing a lot of friction? The things that we have to prepare along the way. Like I was trying to say to you, we're also eager to start this relationship and marriage, that we fall in love, head over heels in love with that man or the woman without proper planning. Then immediately we get into the marriage, then issue starts. There's reaction from the child. There's reaction from your loved man or your lover, the man that you just married, or the woman, and he's feeling, it's not. I've seen people and I've counseled it. I actually counseled somebody and I just thought there are a lot of issues that I dealt with when I was doing this. So it's one of those things that I wanted us to talk about this night. Please give us a call on 074 280 72162. Drop your comments if you have anything to say, and I'll read it out and we'll make it a kind of discussion now. So we need to think about all these things. So you need to find out, as you normally do, when you want to go abroad. So I'll use that. Like you want to go on a trip, just you're going on an adventure, you're going on a trip, you don't know what is there. You want to go to a country, a territory that somebody else used to stay. This is a man or a woman that been married for 10 or 5 years or 20 years or whatever. So they have a culture. They have their social expectation. They have their spirituality. They have their relationship rules. The child was raised in a way. So most of it, you can't just come there and start raising the children. Yeah, you will do your bit, but you cannot take control overnight. And that's the problem we have. We want to stamp our feet. We want to do things our own way. Hang on. Hello, somebody there. This family had been living without you. This child with the father or the mother had a lovely time. So you are a suspect when you come. I remember there was a case of a family that I knew, and when the man wanted to marry, the children, they were in their teens, they revolted. They revolted badly that they ran out of the house. It was that bad. And they were planning and scheming about this innocent woman. And unfortunately, too, she was, hello, money, Yatilola, bless you. And then, unfortunately, she too got overreactive about it because, to be honest with you, it calls for sensitivity. It calls for questioning. So, like I was saying to you, one of the things that we have to think about is culture. How do they? You have to think, okay, Mr. Joe Block that I want to marry, what is the culture of this home? What do they be? You have to invest time in finding out during courtship. You just don't deal with that man. You are going to an unknown territory that another woman or another man had already laid. It's a structure. They've already laid. Good evening, ma. Christiana Falashade, they bless you, ma. They've already laid that foundation. So another thing you have to think about as I'm speeding through this point, giving people time to contribute, and with thought. Kolawole, sure. Knowledge is power. To be better informed of whatever life offers in the nearest future is key and safe. Great sharing, dear ma'am. Thank you very much. The Lord bless you, sir. One of the things you have to think about as well is emotional adjustment. Remarriage or step family will require you to emotionally adjust into all the transitions of any part of it. From you clearing whatsoever is in your mind, having a clean mind, no preconceived thought. This is not the way I want to do it now. And sometimes it's now very funny when maybe the man has a baggage, like I always say it, has children from previous marriage, and the woman has children from the previous marriage. I counseled a couple that happened to, but by the grace of God, with understanding and counseling, we went through like 12 weeks counseling, long counseling, to resolve all these issues. And now there's peace because, okay, there are children from A side and there's children from B side. Listen, it's not easy bringing two children from two different tradition, culture, even if they are both Christian and whatever, blah, 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 what you call it. They are different. Their orientations are different. So there has to be this emotional adjustment. You find yourself in unfamiliar territory most of the time. The way they talk, the way some people talk, some people just make jokes. They are free. Some people are kind of strict and structured. So all these things, you have to mentally just prepare your mind. It's something that you have to prepare your mind and say, God, preconceived thoughts and opinion, you have to remove it and go into the marriage with a kind of open expectation. And just like you're going on a trip, like I was saying, we're considering it, and this illustration is going to be linked to like you're going on a trip. You have to expect to be lost, and don't panic when you get lost. Because remember, there are cultural differences. Like I said, there are issues in the marriage that you don't know. So most of us, the problem with human beings, we don't like change and we don't like to be lost. We like to do our own thing. So consider the fact that, okay, maybe you have come in with one child and he's coming with one child or two. You are in his house and then you're all sensitive to what his children are doing or his child is doing, but you are not sensitive to what your own child are doing. You are sensitive to what his parents. Remember, his parents, that child's parents. So all these people are step parents. It's step parenting. They're involved in that child's life. They're involved in that man's life. They're involved in that woman's life. So we have to know, you have to just feel free, deal with yourself. I always say to people when it comes to this, deal with yourself. Don't panic at all. Just calm down. When things happen, take a brief breath. It's just like you've come to UK for the first time or gone to Africa for the first time, unknown territory, you got your map and everything, you suddenly find yourself lost. Beg your pardon. All we try to do is calm down first, because when you get chaotic about it and panicky, things are going to get worse, right? Remember that you are in a strange territory. Learn to find your way when you are even anxious. Ask questions. Ask the man or the woman of the house, listen to their replies. Okay, what was your child like eating? How did you react? I was trying to give Tommy or Funke or Sheon food yesterday, and he stamped his feet. There's some children that has needs. There are issues, and usually one thing I found out with children from broken home, as in whether you like it or not, when you divorce is a broken home. When they are separated is a broken home. Children from broken home are extremely sensitive. Even children of widows or widowers, and they are always sensitive. Children that are not your stepchildren, they are always sensitive. So learn to ask questions. Remember, it's one very good thing that you should put in mind is these people are not your enemy. Like I said to you, the first one that I dealt with a few years ago, the woman was so defensive and she thought these children hated her because these children, all they used to do was pick the phone and they will be gossiping to their mother. They will say everything, and you can't stop that. They are not used to you. They are not your children. So you have to have that in mind. Don't expect perfection at any time. Women, we are very, very guilty of this most of the time. We expect the man to be perfect. Hang on, he's been doing his thing years before you get there. The children are not used to you. So all these things, you have to not overreact. Please, let's stop overreacting. You have to nurture this marriage. Stress in step family, like I said when I started, always leads to divorce. Issues, whether you like it or not, will come from your stepchildren or step grandparents and stuff like that. So learn to nurture your home. If it's your ex-spouse, even, let me tell you something, ex-spouse. I remember the story of one chap that after he divorced, properly divorced. But this woman had gone, women were funny. When you have something, you play with it. The moment that thing goes, then it's an issue. This woman was messing about with her whatever, and then they divorced, and then she wouldn't go. Then when the man was getting married, the woman started using the children to cause pain. And unfortunately, this new wife too was bearing the brunt of the whole thing, and the issues escalated. And then one morning, the woman had the guts to be calling and be asking questions and be suspecting the new wife. If you have a luggage that you didn't take care of, who cares? Who cares who stole it? So you are outside now, you are not concerned about the health and the welfare of your ex. So remember, you're going to deal with ex, they usually cause trouble. And the only thing is communication. The stress antidote for this one is communication. That woman used to get defensive. She used to get moody. Acknowledge Pastor Ajayi, bless you, sir. Good evening to you, man of God. They always get so defensive. They look for trouble. So one of the things that causes divorce in our new marriage and step relationship is when we don't nurture this. All these points that I'm bringing, I'm giving you these points one after the other, that things to look out for. You should know that you're in a new terrain, a new territory, and that they are not your enemy. They are just being protective. The children, feel someone else has come in to steal their father or their mother. Someone is coming to take their space. They're usually free before. Maybe there are some some children, they're just free with their children, with their parents, and they come into their mother or father's room. They lie on the bed together, do things together, in a healthy way. I mean, but the moment this new man or woman comes in, there has to be boundary, but you can't stamp your feet like that. The issue most of us has is we take authority. The authority is not yours. It's a gradual thing. Most of us will always believe, no, if I don't stamp my feet, those children are spoiled. If I don't change, no, you're going to be out of that home the way you came in. So these people are not your enemy. It's their terrain. It's their territory. So it takes time, prayer, grace. Like I said, we're comparing it to like you're going on a trip to a straight line. You have to find out about the culture, about the people, about what they eat. You prepare yourself as you're going. So expect the worst. That's one of the things I will say. When you're dealing with these people, expect the worst, but remember they're just being overreactive. They're just being sensitive or sentimental, but they do not hate you. They're not your enemy. Some of them can go to the extent of doing things, but with time, with communication, because the real person that is a major person is your spouse. So with communication, before he comes in, relax. Don't always go to him or her and say, oh, look at what A has done. I'm not going to take it. Your child is rude to me. You're going to damage the man or the woman. It will be divided. I dealt with one that constantly the man and the woman was like, I've had enough. She was almost going to run out of that marriage before intervention because, she was always just thinking the man was having a go at the children, but the man was just trying to say, oh, these children are spoiled, they've been like this. I got to put boundaries, I got to do this, but it's not going to work that way. Keep having fun. Like I said to you, when you communicate, stress level will be reduced. Communicate with these children, even if they appear to be your enemy, which they are not, because they always come around later. Have fun. Keep the fun factor. Just remember, like I said, that you're on holiday. You're in a strange land. Some holiday you can be there for 100 years and 10 years. Eventually, you make up your mind. That's why you have to think about all these things very, very well. It takes planning when you're going to new marriage. But what I've found out from everyone I've counseled or have spoken to or have had their life history or story is that we just fall in love with Joe Block and Sheila, and then the next thing is we are getting married. The children will come around. They don't usually come around easily. So it takes time. We're going to get there, that you're going to befriend them. But you need to connect. You need to connect and focus on activities that will build these people. Inside every family, you have the insider and the outsider. You are the insider with the man and your children. The outsider are the step relationship. Like I mentioned, that child, remember, even the mother is out. She has a grandmother. She has cousins. She has people. Even if the mother is dead or the father is dead, she has people that are looking out for interest. And obviously, these people at the onset will not like you because they will think you've come to take somebody else's space. So you have to find a way of building relationship with this insider and outsider. Take advantage of natural connection. Try and find out what interests the children. If there are people that like on holiday, arrange holiday activities, that will bring people around, do barbecue. The first time they will give you attitude, they will come in, they will look, especially African. I love my heart for us. African will use our eyes. We don't even know what we do all those things. Just keep your cool. Behave as if just like you're on your holiday and you're meeting these people for the first time, and remember that they're going to go to their homes. So just be natural. Don't let them get at you. Prepare your mind for the worst. Most of us do not prepare. Thank you, Temitope Benny. Now, if you're online and you want me to acknowledge you, just thumbs up and say hello or comment. Please give a call on 074-280-72162. The people that wants to learn, there are few of us that want to go into second marriages, and we are kind of apprehensive. I was speaking to a single lady that was speaking to me about matchmaking, and she said something, and she said, oh, Pastor, I'm ready to move on, and I'm ready. She's been single for like 10, 15 years, I know, and I want to move on. And I said to her, okay, after discussing everything, our choices, I said, have you told your daughter? And she said, no. Why would I tell her? She doesn't have a say in it. It's my decision. And I looked and I laughed. That's an issue from the start. It's our decision as well. As you're planning, you have to take her into consideration. You have to gradually start prepping her, start telling her that mommy is going to remarry at some point. And when the man comes, don't just throw the man and introduce the man one night and say, this is your father. Father from where? We're going to get to that. How you relate with them, we're going to get there in a minute. So I'll leave these two together. Connect and focus, like I said, on activities that builds the home. Do activities together, something that will make you, no matter, even if they're the worst people, those children, please allow me to share this video if you're online, share it that people can benefit from it. And after the video, we're doing it, not for publicity, but to impact onto lives, because I see these issues every day. People are going through issues and we don't know how to say it. But like I always say, this is the wise builders. We build together, and a problem shared is problem solved. There's nothing you're going through alone that you think you're going through alone. Some of us, somebody there, people have gone through it. So we are here to talk together on how to keep working strong so that we'll not lose our mind, we'll not lose our sanity, and we'll not lose our place where God wants us to be. Lord bless us as we go on. So focus on things that can build, all these activities. If it is traveling, if it is shopping, if it is reading, watch family together, family movie together, find out. These are things that you ought to dig before you go, like going on a trip. You take your map, you find out before you get to the home. Speak to the mother or the father that you want to marry, that your child, how old is she? How old is he? What does he like doing? Don't spoil them by buying. You can't buy them with gifts. Most find out what they want. So, you gradually win the attention of both the children, the parents, which are involved as we go along. So another thing that, despite all I'm saying, please don't lose yourself. Don't be isolated from outside support because you just want to say, oh, few of us, we make that mistake. Mr. A or Mrs. B tells us that I want this relationship to be between us, and then you leave it like that, and then we start having issues. Don't lose yourself. Don't associate yourself from your outside support. Your inside support, which is your new family, your immediate family, your old friends and associates, they are as important as this your step family. Some of us, we just forget everything about ourselves, and if it doesn't work, we're in issues. And like we said, hello, mommy Agoruma, bless you, ma. Like we always say, and if you go and find out, research and studies shows that second marriages, when care is not taken, it doesn't work. And the reason is very, very simple. And that's what's making me do this night. As many people that you know and your family, your friends that wants to go into step marriages or step parenting, which you're going to get to in a minute, or step relationship, that is the relationship that you have with somebody's child or somebody's children or the family that existed before you. We all know what marriage is all about. Father, mother, and children, or father, mother, even if they don't have a child. The moment you marry into that family, even if somebody died in that family, they had people, they have parents and family. So you're still more or less involved with them, either quietly or openly. So don't lose yourself, don't isolate yourselves or yourself as you go along. Keep old friends and connection alive. Keep doing what you are doing, but at the same time, pay attention to the inside, but not be very, very sensitive. As I go to the next point, you remember that this is a new family, is a new thing that you're doing. So you have to have new and common friends. One of the issues that we have or that found out that these people have. I was still treating one last week, and that's what brought this when I was counseling this couple last week. Is less than a week ago, is the fact that the man wants to keep his old friends. The woman wants to keep her old friends. The woman's friend does not like this guy. They believe he's a gold digger. So they have issues. So what I've said to them is each one of you should keep his or her old friends, but now start having common friends. There's no law that says you have to stick to your old friends. Remember, you're going on a trip. This marriage is a trip and it has to be successful. It has to end well. Your plane has to arrive at its destination. It mustn't crash along the way. It must not. Lack of planning will make the plane crash. You have to plan, invest time, ask questions. Ask questions. I say to people, talk rubbish. If it means you talking rubbish, ask questions, because this is your future. Don't assume. Don't go into any family or new marriages with assumption that, oh, this is the way it will be. You don't know. There are structures in place already by another woman or another man. You're not going there to break those structures. You can't. The foundation had already been laid, but you want to lay on it. You have to be very careful how you're not laying on it. Carefully, it will take time. You will lay your foundation, but it's not with force. You know, learn to, like I said to you, get new friends, but you can change your church. Another issue that some people have is they don't want to keep, for example, if I remarry and my spouse may not want to come to my church because if he has children, because maybe they've known my late husband, or if you marry, and you're known to a church, you may not want to go to the same church. All these issues, especially men, being the head of the home, you have to be flexible. And if your woman is not comfortable around it, you might have to change the church. Men especially, they don't think about all these things. They just think, oh, bless you, Yeti Abike Gold. The Lord bless you. Okay. Somebody has commented, which I'm going to read out as I take a break. Karen Apuch. Wow, this is a lengthy one. One problem I discovered with situations like this is that some partners are so selfish. They want their spouse but don't want their kids around. So obviously that relationship will not work. Sometimes the kids are defending their absent father or mother, and they start throwing tantrums to frustrate their parents' new partner. True. Sometimes some relationships don't understand that such relationships are in form of a package. So anyone that wants to have a lasting relationship with such people from previous marriage with kids must be ready to accept their partner as a package, meaning accepting him or her with their children. Some are even worse. They can stand their own kids, but they can't stand their spouse's kids. Very good. Thank you. That's a very good contribution. It's kind of buttressing what I've said. Whether you like it or not, this is not your first marriage. I was speaking to a young man and he was going to his second marriage. And the man was talking to me as if he's going to his first marriage. So I said to him at some point, are you okay at all? Do you realize you got baggages? You got 3 children? Do you realize this woman that you want to marry has 3 children or 2? I can't remember whether 2 or 3, but she has more than 1. You cannot expect things to be normal. You have 4 or 5 children that you want to bring together. These are packages that you have to think about. If not, you are out of that marriage as you're going to come in. So step marriage and parenting. Step marriage and parenting is not that easy, especially when the children are still underage. Even when they are 20-something, they are still sensitive. In fact, those ones are worse because they don't see you as their mother. They cannot stand you. So we are still going to get to the next stage, which is what name. You have to discuss about it. You can't force somebody to be calling somebody that is not their dad, their dad. If you're not their mom, if they are grown, be over 10, 15, some of them will not accept you as their father. They won't accept you as their mother. So, and typical African, you don't want them to call me uncle. How can you be calling me uncle? Am I your uncle? Yeah, your uncle, whether you like it or not. Your uncle. So we have to focus, like I said, I'm going to get there in a minute. We have to try and find common friends. I don't want to lose my point before I took that comment. Thank you, Abike Gold. Reality Talk, may the Lord bless you. Thank you, daughter. So we have to focus and get new friends. If it has to mean us changing church, you have to, all these things are things that you have to discuss. If I marry you and my children don't like you, what do we do? If your children don't like me, what do we do? How do I react? And the first day you want to meet them, just know you're going on adventure. Don't expect anything. Just be free. Unknown territory, be normal, just dress casual, go there, meet them, get home that day and call the Mr. Joe Block and say, Mr. Joe Block, you see when I was eating and we were at dinner, your daughter was looking at me, was pinching. You're going to ruin the man's life or the woman's life. You've started problem. So let's grow up. Let's find out and realize the fact that this is not our first marriages. And these things are not going to work for us the way we thought it's going to be. It's not your first marriage. So there are baggages that you have to deal with. There are families that you have to deal with. You have to understand their culture. You have to understand their territory. You have to understand their religion. You have to understand how they do their things in their home. So gradually you start introducing yours, but it may not be in months. Don't lose yourself, but you absorb yourself into their tradition. Like I said, you have to create friends like proper married couple. Look for your own common friends. Start making friends. Look for mentors, especially look for people that have gone through. I always say this thing, but my people don't listen. Please, all these things I say, please, even if it is 5-10%, take it. It's disheartening the way people are rushing into relationships and rushing out now. We fall head over heels in love, but please let's love with our hearts and let our brain be sensitive. Let us know that we still have brain and we still have blood. We have flesh and blood. Do your findings very well as if you're going on a trip. You're going on a trip. Take your map, your navigator, do everything. Find that as much. Don't be under pressure to quickly just jump into the marriage. Take your time to court the man, to befriend those children, to find out about their family. And you can only find out from your spouse. But when you start getting naggy and sensitive, that man or woman won't tell you about it again. Because I dealt with it last week. As we go on, if you want to call, it's 074 280 72162. It's good for us. Our church, like I said, is a very good. When you become a part of a family of faith, is good. I said to people, church help us so much. Please, depression sets in when you're doing your thing your own way. There's no temptation that befalls you that somebody else has not gone through or is going through. God is faithful. That's what the scripture says. It will give you a way out. This is one of the way outs. And one of the way out as well is if you have like a faith mentor, there will be people in your church, in your family, or friend that has gone through this. Make them your friend. Sit with them to say, okay, how do you cope with this issue of children? The step parent, it's called step parenting. They are not your children. They can assume to be your children, but they know that you are not their mother. Except when you marry, when the child is just like months old or a year or two. But once they are like over 6, 7, they know their mother, they know their mama, they know their papa. But most of us, especially the men, they want to bully those children and say, you have to accept her. This is my wife. I've married her. And everybody, they cause trouble for the woman. And then the house gets divided and you lose those children's confidence. Children that you should naturally befriend. And let's assume that your own children, when they are throwing tantrums, I always advise people when they're speaking to me that flip side. Let's assume you are in that man's situation or is in this. How are you going to cope? We always see things from our own angle. Remember the value of tradition. Another thing I'm going to talk to us. For the sake of the children, don't throw everything that pertains to their parents. Don't throw it away. Or that pertain to their parents. For example, maybe you have children that their father or mother died or is divorced or whatever. Fumi Kayo Ajimo, bless you, sir. Hello to you as well. If you're online, just say hello or wave your hand so I acknowledge you. Owo Junior One, bless you. If it's on Instagram, bless you. Thank you very much for joining on Instagram as well. So please, all the sentiment, these are called sentiments. It's family tradition sentiments. Let these children still keep some. Don't erase the memory of that deceased parent or divorced parent. Make sure that those children, let them, if you might remove it. I don't expect you, if you divorce, to still keep your marriage picture, old picture in the sitting room, but you can keep it in your child's room. It's our mother, it's our father. Let that child still have some sense of old identity, even as you're introducing new. Like I said to you, this couple that I knew, immediately they were living with their father, doing great. And Oluwapo, type the question here. Where do you send the questions? Please type the question and I read it out. Bless you, sis. I sis, Louis Johnson, I will bless you, brother. Thank you. You see, as I was saying, can you imagine this man, right? I remember this man was staying happily with 3 of his children and they were doing very well. Then the man decided to he was divorced, take another one. These children did everything to frustrate the life of this woman and their father. Eventually, they ran out of the house because the man prepared so much for his new bride. And he was like, till tomorrow, they ran out of the home. And he was like, oh, this is my new bride. Bless you, ma. Mommy prophetess, bring pay Eledo. Bless you, ma. I acknowledge men and women of God online, friends and family. Please just wave so that I know you are not a silent observer, so I can appreciate you. So these children frustrated their lives. They frustrated their life. They ran out of the home. You cannot change the children's tradition. Their sentiments about the parents, maybe the mother was dead or divorced, or the father was dead or divorced. Yeah, imagine now a man that lost his wife and remarried another woman. He's going to put his new married picture and this woman in the sitting room. So more or less, to those children, if they are grown, you are erasing the memory of them. And they don't, children, they don't want to lose focus. So what you can do is, in their own room, don't remove those old traditions. Let them display it there. Your major room, so keep some of the old tradition and keep some of the new one. I'm taking another question. How long do you advise one to court before getting married for the second time? Wow. Please, I'm trying the question live. Comment, please, before I'm moderated. So please, Oluwapo just wrote a question, which is very getting married for the second time. If you're remarriage, this is called remarriage. That is your second marriage. Hello, Yinka. Bless you, sis. This is called remarriage. This is not your first marriage, whether there's children or not. Remember, like I said, as we take the question, please write the answers. As many of us are online, please drop your answer. How long, from your experience, men and women of God online, how long do you advise one to court before getting married for the second time? You see, when you're talking about second marriage, it doesn't necessarily have to be that there are children involved. When I married, let's assume I do not have children from my husband. My in-laws, his family are still my in-law, even if I get married tomorrow. Yeah, I may not necessarily have dealing with them every day, but they still have a kind of take or stake, So what we do in such relationship is, in as much as you are not going to get them too involved, but you give them their dues, as in you still respect them. There's still dignity. We can't throw caution to the wind. So, but if children are now involved, it's very, very difficult and very sensitive. It's not as easy as we think it is. If we rush into these things without proper for the sake of people that came in, I'm expecting in 2 minutes, I don't see answers. I'm going to answer the question. This is the wise builder. I'm just trying for Instagram people. I'm just trying for us to answer. Let's do it together before is the remarriage. Okay, bless you. Woman of God, Grace being Ledon, she just answered. She's asking another, please, is the remarriage after widowhood or divorce? It's very, very important. She wants to know whether the courtship is after remarriage or after divorce or widowhood. So that factor has to be considered before she answered that question. And I tell you, she's got she's a very experienced woman of God, and she's got Women Foundation that she lectures women on, and she prays for them. So I'm happy that you're online. My mommy, Grace Bimpe, don't bless you, ma. Oh, Anolopo has replied you, ma. Mommy Bimpe Eledon, she said, either way, it doesn't really matter. So the question that we are trying to tackle is, how long do you advise one to cut before getting married for the second time? For the second timer, how long do we hope? Because you see, these issues, and I bless God for this question. It sounds so easy nowadays that we just go in all these issues, and there are baggages that once not dealt with, you'll be out of that marriage that you have entered, especially with children. I tell you, this one that's saying they frustrated the man and the woman. They frustrated these two boys. They frustrated them that they ran from home. You know, social services was involved. It was really, really messy just because they even said the woman is a witch, you know, and African, and things got out of hand. And it's just because the woman just took authority, or the man was saying, no, these are my children, you have to accept my choice. It's not that easy. They will eventually, but it needs prepping. They need befriending. It needs prayer. It needs counseling. It needs those children. They are part of the man or the woman. They need to be, it's not that you make them feel important. They need to be given their dues and their respects. As I wait the answer of that question before we go on, they need to be respected. You need to sit them down, you know, you need to have them feel a lot of emotions, from anger to their fondness. Help them to articulate how they go about things. They are confused, especially if it's widow, if it's somebody that lost the parent. They don't expect to be in that situation, even if it's domestic violence and things like that. No child wants to lose a parent, either to divorce or whatever. Every child, is bound to expect to live in a home full of love, and to see both parents bring them up. But in situations of life that we know that things do happen. Please, ma, please quickly reply us. We're waiting for your reply before we go on. Anybody that wants to answer, please. Daddy Jacob Oduyoye, Pastor, bless you, sir. We want to find out, how long do we advise that you cut? Please, as many people are online, help us to answer this question. How long do you advise that one to cut before going into marriage, when you want to go into your second marriage? Is this something that you 6 months, is it a year, is it 2 years, is it 2 months? It depends. I'm going to say it depends, but I want my mommy there to give her answer. Then I feel, but maybe not to waste time, I feel it all depends on the two people involved, maturity, and how we deal with these things. I would say, to go into proper marriage, you can be in a relationship, established relationship, but committing to proper marriage, I would say, don't do anything earlier than 6 months to a year. Mommy Grace Eledon has replied, no one can really tell you when. Oh, bless you. See, the Spirit of God is one. If I said it before she said it, it would look like I waited for her. Whatever your situation is, you need to be emotionally ready, not to just jump from one situation into another. You also need to pray tenaciously. Bless you, ma. That was just my that I was saying before your reply came in. It doesn't really matter how long. Nobody can tell you. It depends on the maturity of both couple, the readiness. And like she just mentioned, how you've healed, because it takes healing, especially if it's divorce. Divorce. Somebody said something to me recently when I was counseling him. He said, Pastor, divorce is worse than death. I said, What do you mean? He said, divorce is worse than death. He said, Pastor, you know, your husband died. You know, it's painful. I said, no, death, the pain of death. He said, no. You know, you have fond memories about him and you know he's gone and you can't see him or bump into him again. He said, but divorce, when those children are doing bad, they stick their face there. When they are doing marriage, can you imagine you're divorced? Have you gone to a marriage, a child of divorced parents' marriage? Oh my days. You see that you can see that the body coming. Everybody will be giving the family of the man and the woman. Everyone will be, the whole thing will be so chaotic, and it's not nice for the child. So divorce sometimes can be so painful. So why I'm saying this is you need to heal properly from all these relationships. You know, it takes time. It takes time to heal emotionally, you know, to deal with the grief of the pain and the anger of losing the man or the woman, either to death or to divorce. Then prepare yourself for the new marriage. So, and take time. Like I said, when we started this, I started by saying I'm comparing this to somebody that's going on a journey. You are going to unknown terrain. You know, when your first marriage, you build, I said to people, first marriage is easy to build because both of you don't have no baggage. He's coming out of uni, you are coming out of uni, or wherever, whether you did not go to uni, wherever. I'm just saying it's first marriage. So it's easy to build your values, your traditions, your culture, everything you want to do. You know, this is the culture of this is what we want to do. Raise your children the way you want it. And it's good like that. But the moment that marriage breaks, it's an issue. There's somebody calling. Let's see. Your children the way you want it. It's good like that. But hello. Reduce the volume. Reduce the volume of your maybe computer or your phone. Reduce it. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Bless you, sir.
Hello. Marriage will be done.
Reduce the volume of your maybe computer or your phone. Reduce it.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Hello, sir.
The marriage could be done.
Yeah.
Minimum for a year.
Okay. Okay, sir.
A year.
Hello, sir.
A year.
Okay.
A year is allowed to be done for marriage. Hello?
Go on, sir. Go on,
a
sir.
Year. A year could be considered.
So
minimum.
Nothing less than a year.
Yeah, not good for 6 months at all.
Why is that, sir?
God bless you.
Why, sir? Why, sir? Before you go, sir, why do you think it's not good for 6 months?
Because a year is enough to see things.
Nothing less than a year.
Yeah, not less than a year.
Okay.
To be done properly. Yeah.
Okay.
Why, sir?
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Really appreciate, sir.
It's not good for you. You can't see things at all. There will be a lot of hiding something. And the preparation will not be enough for 6 months at all.
True.
It's never done.
But we've seen people that courted.
God bless you.
Hello, sir.
God bless you.
Hello, sir. Thank you, sir. Bless you, sir. Hello. Thank you.
God bless you.
Bless you, sir. Thank you. That was a good contribution. The gentleman that rang in said the minimum time that can be considered is a year. Please, do we agree or disagree? I personally do not put any time frame there. Okay. Thank you very much. Mommy Grace Eledon has just commented, someone got married a year after widowhood and there was a lot of uproar. Meanwhile, it was God who brought it together. She was just praying and not really looking. Listen to the leading of God. When you know it's Him, just go ahead. Do not leave your harvest in the field for another to gather because of what people will say. I love my heart. I bless you, man. I will say it does not take any time. Time frame It's what man, you can study a man or a woman and you will not still be prepared. When somebody is ready, what we need to do here is emotionally ready. This person that married within a year after widowhood is still raw. But if the Holy Spirit of God heals you, if you're properly healed by God, remember that, it's the balm in Gilead. If he heals you and suits your wound, this man or woman will be able to nurture you. At some point, all this time frame is something that we should allow naturally. I would say anything from 6 months to know that person. You might leave it too long and then things get out of hand. If the man has a need, a dear need, maybe somebody to take care of the children, and he's been divorced for 2 years or 3 years, and he likes you and he's really ready. The most important thing is, like we said earlier on, clear your mind. Any marriage, whether first marriage or second marriage, I always say to people, at least 6 months. You need at least 6 months. We've seen people that have courted for 5 years, whether first marriage or second year married, and they're out of that marriage. They've courted 3 years, 4 years, they are out of marriage. It does not take the time of courtship. It takes readiness. It takes the leading of the Holy Spirit, you being sensitive to God, and it takes you being prepared. If it's your first marriage, but for the sake of tonight, we're talking about remarriage. So it needs you to be healed. You need to be healed mentally, physically, from every wound. It's not battering that we're talking about. Emotional things have gone at stake. So you need to heal. So I think I would say anything from 6 months to a year, courtship is okay for the person to know how ready the man or the woman is. Once you know a man that's ready or a woman that's ready, things move. A man that is not ready, emotionally ready, you will just be wasting your time courting him for a year or two. He will just be using you as girlfriend and he will not propose. But somebody that is ready to marry will let you know, I'm ready to marry. Then you start working together, you start learning, discuss all these things, try and go there. You see those children, befriend them, know him, find out about his own family as you're finding out about the late or ex family. What do they, and then you find out about this child or the children. What are their likes? Do they have any issues, health issues, concern? You go and read about them. For example, if the child is autistic or the child has some syndrome or things, you go and dig about that. How do you deal with those children? So you don't come, because I've seen children that like autistic, and when you don't know, you come to the house and they say, these children are spoiled. Your mother did not teach you. Our Africans, we are very bad because we assume and we jump to conclusion. Sometimes what is making some other people to cry, we just open our mouth and talk rubbish. So all these things, we should be very, very careful. You are entering into a terrain that you do not know, do your findings. If you're just joining, please start from the beginning of the video and try and see all these points. And as we navigate it, now we need, you need wisdom on how to deal with the ex. I mean the ex, as in, let's assume it's not a widow or widower. Let's assume it's a divorcee. Remember, she's still there. That step relationship, whether you like it or not, you need wisdom how to relate with them. The dad, mom, terms that you have to use to refer to another. Let's assume that I was divorced and I've got a child and the father is living outside and I remarry. My new husband has to have a way of dealing with him. What name is he going to call him? Is he going to call him Sean? Or is he going to call him uncle? Or is he going to call him hi there? These are things, because if you don't plan for it, he just knocks on your door and he has a right, once he's agreed, to come and see his child. Or even if he's not allowed to come to your home, you will meet at a point that you want to go as a family. And then you find out people giving attitudes. And then you make that child kind of be in a very unpalatable situation. So what we need to do is, you have to discuss, what name do I call Tosin's mom? What name do I call Funke's mom? What name? How do we relate with each other? You have to find this thing and try and articulate. Okay, your grandparents, am I calling them grandma? Am I calling them by name? Fortunately, abroad here, they call themselves name. But we Africans, you want to call them mom, and you're like, she's not my mom, but she's your stepchild's mom. So you have to know how to deal with this. I'm calling her grandma. You know, they're part of the family. And if you want to enjoy this new child that you have, that God has given to you, because it's God that's given that child to you, you have to know how to relate with them. You have to be a team. You have to work together. You know, you have to work together. You have to do things together. You know, build relationship. You know, don't become an authority. You are not the authority. That's the problem. I've said this before, but you are not an authority in that house, but you are part of the family. If you're a step parent, communicate a no threat. Don't let the child think you're a no nonsense person, no threat. We always do that. I'm going there and I'm going to show them that no, those children are spoiled. That's their home. And now, if you have a new home, try and let them know. Usually, if God provides, the best thing is, you know, to look for a new home. I knew a man that lost his wife, and what he did was he tried to go and get a new home so that these children, they have a sense of, because it's not everybody that is that buoyant. So if you have a home and that you're bringing them to, if it's the man's home or it's the woman's home, that you nowadays doesn't matter whose home, it's the family home. Especially if you're a child of God, you know that if God has blessed you, it's the family thing. All this thing, my thing, my thing, my thing. God will deliver us Africans. But as we're rounding up, if you bring them to the home, you know, do things. Let's assume I knew a man as well that after his wife died, what he did was he moved out temporarily to his new wife's home. Okay, there's a comment. Woman of God, you are right. In the case of divorce, there's lots of baggage that needs to be dealt with before stepping out again. Thank you, ma. True. Divorce, divorce is not easy. It's so painful. There's a lot of wounds, psychologically, emotionally, that needs to be dealt with. So, as I was saying, bless you, ma. As I was saying, this man, what he did was he went to rent a temporary accommodation, kind of decanted himself out, you know, to some place, maybe hostel or something, I can't remember, but temporarily. And what he did was he now renovated, you know, he said just for dignity of his new wife. These are things you have to think. You have to make the home a new home for them. Don't let them live in the old woman or man's world. So what she did was he went to change round. So where the kitchen was, they moved things around. He now moved to the sitting room, then changed another place to the bedroom, so that when this new woman came, you know, she had a sense of living that is a new place, is their home. So please, these are things you have to think of your step parents. You have to think about them. Stop step parents, step grandparents, uncles, aunties that will come. Look at the names that you're going to give them. How do you go about them? Build on the foundation that's been on ground. Don't worry, over the time you will change it gradually.